Neil, thanks for joining us.
It's like an all hands.
Yeah, well, thank you for letting us into your home.
Sure.
Your beautiful home, for hosting this amazing flagship event. Huge thank you, seriously, to People Inc.
I mean, I wish it was my home. It's not, but
for making Media Trends Live a reality. I wanted to start big picture because on the heels of the rebrand,
Yes.
I wanted to ask you a question about branding
Sure.
and what it means today to be a media brand, especially when technology has made it possible for each of us to become our own media brand.
the only thing we have here, and this is actually this exact same thing I would say in all hands, is this chair is very weird. I wouldn't say that. The only thing we have here that matters is brands. And we have 40 brands, and we tell Wall Street that we have 19 brands we call core brands, and of those 19, there's probably 10 really major significant brands. And when you have brands that have like real history and real gravitas and real trust and real meaning, whether it's People or Food and Wine or Travel and Leisure or Real Simple or Entertainment Weekly, you have permission to enter people's lives. And you have permission to enter their lives online. You have permission to enter them in events. You have permission to enter them, in our case, we still print magazines. Mm-hmm. And if you deliver on a promise of what a brand means to people, you have something really special. And brands can survive any change in media if you, as the manager of that brand, are ruthlessly unsentimental. If you don't care about how you used to distribute that brand to people and you only look to where that brand can live today and tomorrow, you got a real chance. And that's basically what we do here.
Oh, ruthlessly unsentimental.
Ruthlessly.
Okay, so on the heels of that question, I wonder how, though, you do differentiate when, again, there are podcasts that AI can create now, and lots of other brands also do events. How are you making People Inc. stand out?
Well, if we can't differentiate, we have no place in the universe. Like, the promise of what we do is that we're differentiated. And like when we changed our name to People Inc. from Meredith, which was an all-time terrible name for a media business, but we like stuck these two things together. We didn't really have a choice. We didn't want to get anybody mad, so we at least put our own name first. But what People Inc. really, part of the reason we did it is because we're about people, and we're about experiences, and we're about feelings, and we're about like, I'm having a dinner party, I need to cook that. I just got diagnosed with this bad condition, I need to deal with that. I have to paint my newborn's bedroom, I want to do that. Like, I'm traveling to Istanbul, I want to learn much more about that. If you deliver on that promise and your brand has a real voice, differentiation's easy. Like, there is 1,000 long tail voices, and there's so much crap, like artificial and actual, on all of these topics. If our brands can't occupy a space in media that is not that, we're doomed. And that's all that we focus on. There's a specialness that we have to have in everything that we do, and we do it. And there's this misconception about media that like, oh my God, AI is the cost in our business is not somebody writing or somebody creating. That is the value we provide, right? So we're not going to save money by using AI to create content. We never do. It actually destroys everything we've built. So we're at this place now where we feel really great about our brands and our voices and where we sit. And we're defying gravity for media businesses. We've been growing every quarter for the last 6 quarters. We're growing revenue, we're growing profitability, we're doing all these things, and it's because of exactly that.
It's nice as a journalist to hear that we're not a cost center. So.
No, I mean, listen, you're a cost center, but you're.
I thought you just said we were the value.
No, but to like all kidding aside, every business has costs. That's okay. Like, that is not the cost center you look at for savings. Like, there's so many other things you can do. The minute you go after the creativity, you are doomed. It's also because it's also like the easiest to see, but it's not what you cut.
Not the cost center you go after. Got it. Right. I got the distinction. I was in LA last week talking to some media executives, palpable hand-wringing over AI. You talked to the Journal in June about AI. You called it the last straw. What did you mean by that?
So I want to start this by saying we are not a media business, and we're not a publisher who complains. We're not complaining. But we are advocates for fairness. And let's just talk about like Google, for instance, which is what this all boils down to. For a really long time, Google was the front door of the internet. They're no longer that. I mean, there was a time when we put Dotdash and Meredith together when Google was more than 60% of our traffic. Now it's less than 30% of our traffic. that is a series of decisions Google made to change their search page and then put AI on their search page. Google works for the benefit of Google, which is fine. The problem is Google is using our content to compete with us. Now, as they've been a decreasing share of overall traffic from search, we've grown overall traffic because we're really good at this, and we knew that this was going to happen, and we've got traffic from like 1 million other sources. But the idea that they can take our content that people have been shown they're willing to pay for, and everything from like events to 1,000 other things, to compete with us is unfair. And then we do things to take leverage back, like we did a thing with Cloudflare where we now block AI crawlers. We don't let any non-permissioned AI crawlers look at our content. We have a deal with OpenAI. They can crawl our content. Google has one crawler. They use the exact same crawler for search that they use for AI. So we can't block them. So they are using all of the leverage of their market position to keep publishers in a position where we kind of can't defend ourselves. Because we can't block search. It's still a material part of our business. They're the dominant player in search. We don't really have a choice. So when I say it's the last straw, like it really needs content. It's not the last straw, but by blocking other crawlers, all of a sudden we're in like what I think is going to be some really interesting discussions with all of the LLM providers who realize that our content's really important. Now they don't have it. We can't do that with Google.
Okay, so this is what you're advocating. Instead of, you're not complaining, you're advocating for some more of these.
Oh, I am complaining, to be clear.
About that,
but what I'm complaining about is something that is patently unfair, a absolute not recognition that the raw materials that are powering this AI are not worth paying for when OpenAI is. We have a fantastic deal with them we're very happy about. And we are in the middle of some very good faith discussions with a lot of the other people that you know in this space. And Google having no recognition that they need to do something with us at this time for whatever reason, because they can still access our things because we can't block them.
Let me know if you get an email after this interview.
I will let you know. No, I've been like waving my hands at clouds for a while about this, so we'll see what happens.
So beyond offsetting the decline and being defensive, where do you see yourself growing and innovating?
So that's actually a really good question. And we spend our entire days here trying to figure out how we can connect directly with audiences and how we can connect directly with advertisers, because that's what we have to do. The thing that has gotten really complicated about our business is we're not in one business. We're in like a whole host of different businesses. The business of people is an old school media business, right? It's a humongous website that has tons of visitors, it sells tons of ads, it's still a print magazine, it's events, it's all this other stuff. It's a new app, it's very much on social. It looks like a very traditional media business you'd think of as media. Look at Better Homes and Gardens for us, which is another incredibly successful brand for us. One of the biggest things Better Homes and Gardens does is we license products, and we're one of the biggest, if not the biggest, licensors of products inside of Walmart. We sell all kinds of stuff under the Better Homes, and that's a huge part of this. And if you look at Food and Wine, we have a humongous event business there. We run the Food and Wine Classic in Aspen and Charleston. That's a huge business. So we have a giant event business here. And each of our brands and each of our sort of like verticals has to find ways to innovate. So we're doing things like, if you believe Comscore, we are something between 40 and 50% of the traffic to recipes on the internet across all of our food sites and all of our home sites. So we started something called My Recipes, which is now one place, a locker, where you can save recipes from all of our sites, which is basically anything you could ever want. And it replaces that old recipe box on your counter. It's a very 1.0 idea, but it has a substantial, like a crazy number of people already using it, and it's only been launched for a few months. Like, there's a lot of product innovation, and there's a lot of like brand level innovation. It is very hard in media, and I think people get trapped. There is no one size fits all for what we do. Like, this thing is food, this thing is health, like Investopedia and People have nothing in common other than they both like are in English. But you have to know how to run each one.
Yeah. Okay, beyond your own growth, advice for other media executives, where do you think they should be looking for their next wave of growth?
I mean, I think you have to look at the assets you have and the brands you have, and you have to find where, and we talk about this all the time, where are brands permissioned? Like, what are you really permissioned to do that's natural you'll have a chance? We happen to have some of the biggest brands in the world, like People and InStyle. People is permissioned to do very, very different things than Birdie is, which is sort of like our Gen Z, like fashion style brand. understanding what someone has permission to do and combining that with being like ruthlessly, again, unsentimental about what they used to do, and then it will become fairly evident like what you can do with these brands. And if you can do that, I think you can be fairly successful.
I love it. I'm gonna get that printed on a t-shirt.
I mean, I'll buy one.
All right, amazing, Neil. We're out of time for now, but thank you so much again
Thanks.
for being our host here. Thank you.